You are paying $200 to bury dead dust. Think about the last time you stood in front of that wall of plastic bags at the garden center. The math is simple, but the pain is real. For a standard 4x8 raised bed, you need 32 cubic feet of soil. That is 16 giant bags. At $12 a pop, you're out $200 before you even plant a single seed. The industry wants you to believe this is the only way. They sell you the dream of a backyard garden, then tax you with a luxury price tag. But here's the truth: they won't advertise. Most of that expensive dirt is just sitting there, doing nothing. Look at the biological data. Extension charts from major universities confirm a reality the stores ignore. Lettuce, spinach, and radishes. Their roots barely hit the 6-inch mark. Even your heavy hitters tomatoes and peppers rarely push past 12 inches in a standard season. The bulk of the action, the nutrient exchange, the life, it all happens right at the surface. By filling the bottom of a deep bed with premium potting mix, you aren't feeding plants. You are burying your budget where no root will ever find it. It is time to stop the waste. We are going to build an engine for infinite living soil using what the industry calls trash. Here's the protocol for a high-performance, low-cost bed. First, stop buying bags for the bottom half. Start with a foundation of carbon. Large logs, fallen branches, and woody debris. This isn't just filler, it's a slow-release sponge for moisture. Second layer, in the waste. Grass clippings, fallen leaves, and kitchen scraps. This is the fuel. As it rots, it creates a subterranean furnace of microbial activity. Finally, only use your premium soil for the top 6 to 8 inches. This is the active zone where your seedlings actually live. Gardening shouldn't be a luxury project for the elite. It's a survival skill. Stop buying into the raised bed scam. Use the biology of the earth to grow your food, not the thickness of your wallet. Nature doesn't shop in aisles. Neither should you. You're standing in the garden center aisle staring at a wall of plastic bags. You've got a new 4x8 raised bed at home, and the math is simple, but the pain is real. To fill that box, you're looking at 20 bags of premium mix. That's $200. $200. Just to bury dead dust. But here's the truth: the industry won't tell you it's a scam. A raised bed scam designed to bury your budget where your vegetables will never reach. Look at the biology. University root data shows a clear, undeniable pattern. The bulk of the action. The feeding, the breathing, the growth happens in the top 6 to 10 inches. That's it. Dig up a mature bed in November and you'll see the reality. A dense network of roots near the surface and absolutely nothing at the bottom. So why are we paying for premium soil in a dead zone? We aren't just wasting money, we're ignoring a massive opportunity sitting right in our backyards. Stop hauling your waste to the curb. Those fallen branches, old logs, and last year's leaf piles aren't trash. They are the engine for infinite living soil. Here is the protocol for a better bed. First, the foundation. Fill the bottom 40 to 50% of your bed with the heavy stuff. Untreated logs, gnarly firewood, and storm-downed limbs. It doesn't have to be pretty, it just needs to be wood. Second, the filler. Pack the gaps with sticks, trimmings, and wheelbarrows of autumn leaves. This layer provides the volume without the price tag. Finally, the finish. Only now do you bring in the expensive soil. 6 to 10 inches of fertile living compost on top. The wood at the bottom will settle. It will rot. It will hold water like a biological sponge during a July heat wave. You're not just saving $100. You're building a battery that feeds your garden from the ground up. Nature doesn't buy bags. Neither should you. Stop burying your budget. Start building an engine. The math is simple, but the pain is real. You're standing in the garden center staring at a wall of plastic bags. $200. That's what it costs to fill a single raised bed with what I call dead dust. But here's the truth: the industry won't tell you the bulk of the action in your garden happens right at the surface. By filling the bottom of that bed with expensive bagged soil, you aren't just burying your budget. you're missing out on a biological engine. Think of a log not as waste, but as a massive natural battery. Scientific tests show that decomposing wood can store up to 5 times its own weight in water. Picture a 10-pound log. Beneath your soil, that log is locking in 50 pounds of reservoir water. While the summer sun cracks the surface of your neighbor's garden, your plants are tapping into a hidden lifeline. They aren't just surviving, they're thriving because the root zone is being dampened from below. This isn't just about moisture, it's about heat. As those microbes break down the carbon, they release thermal energy. It's the same process that makes a compost pile steam in the winter. In early spring, a bed built with a wood core can be 15 degrees warmer than the ground around it. That's not a small difference. That is the difference between waiting for the thaw and planting 4 weeks earlier than everyone else. You are essentially building a heated floor for your seedlings. To do this right, follow the protocol. First, clear the floor of your raised bed. Layer 1. The foundation. Lay down heavy logs and thick branches. Hardwoods are best, but use what you have. This is your long-term water storage. Layer 2. The filler. Pack in smaller sticks, dried leaves, or even grass clippings. You want to eliminate large air pockets while creating a dense network for fungal growth. Layer 3. The filter. Add a thin layer of unfinished compost or straw. This prevents your topsoil from washing down into the gaps. Finally, the top layer. Add only 6 to 8 inches of high-quality soil. This is where your seeds germinate, but the wood below does the heavy lifting. When you build this way, the hose stays coiled. The moisture meters stay steady. You stop fighting against nature and start using its internal combustion. Stop buying dust, start building an engine. Your garden and your wallet will thank you. The math is simple, but the pain is real. You spend $200 on a beautiful raised bed. Then you spend another $200 just to fill it. You're standing there loading your trunk with a wall of plastic bags buying what the industry calls premium mix. But let's be honest, you're paying to bury dead dust. Most commercial potting soil is nearly lifeless. It's a sterile blend of peat, moss, and perlite. No biology, no network. Just inert particles waiting for expensive chemical fertilizers to do the work. But here is the raised bed truth. The bulk of the action happens right at the surface. University root data proves that most vegetable roots don't need 2 feet of expensive soil. So why are we burying our budget in the bottom of a box? It's a scam. And the solution is actually free. Instead of filling that deep void with bagged mix, we're going to build a microbial reef, a living engine for infinite soil. Here is the protocol. First, the base. Hardwood logs and thick branches. This isn't filler, it's a long-term battery. Next, the fuel. Layer in carbon-rich waste, fallen leaves, straw, or grass clippings. This creates a natural gradient that buffers against cold snaps and starts your season weeks earlier. Finally, the top. Only the top 6 to 8 inches need that high-quality compost. Down in the dark, something incredible happens. Fungi colonize the wood, weaving thin white threads of mycelium through every crevice. These are nutrient highways. In a sterile bag mix, your plants are on life support. In this wood-based bed, they're plugged into a living grid. Mycelium moves phosphorus, nitrogen, and water directly to the roots faster than gravity ever could. As the years pass, the wood transforms into humus, dark, springy, and full of air. It never packs down like peat. It never turns into a hard, lifeless block. You aren't just growing a garden. You're managing an ecosystem that feeds itself. Stop burying your budget. Build a reef. Let the microbes do the work. The math is simple, but the pain is real. You're standing in the garden center surrounded by a wall of plastic bags, and you realize you're about to spend $200 just to bury dead dust. It's the raised bed scam. Retailers aren't just selling you soil, they're selling a cycle. Every spring, millions of gardeners haul home bag after bag, pouring money into a system designed for repeat business. Industry reports show retail profit margins on those bagged mixes hover around 50%. That means for every dollar you spend, half goes straight to the store's bottom line. The rest, it's cheap peat moss perlite and a handful of filler wrapped in plastic destined for a landfill. Across the country, over 500 million plastic bags of potting mix are sold every year. Most are used once, then tossed. It's a staggering environmental cost, over £1 billion of new plastic just to deliver a product that will compact and lose its punch in a single season. If the soil settles, you buy more. If the nutrients run out, you buy fertilizer. For the industry, it's a perfect system. For you, it's a raw deal. But here's the biological truth they won't tell you. Your plants don't need 3 feet of premium soil. University root data is clear. The bulk of the action, the nutrient exchange, the oxygen, the life happens right at the surface. Filling the bottom of a deep raised bed with expensive potting mix isn't gardening. It's financial suicide. Instead, we use the Lasagna Protocol. It turns waste into an engine for infinite living soil. Here is the 4-step breakdown. Step 1. The core. Fill the bottom 40% of your bed with thick, untreated logs. Hardwoods like oak or maple are best. Avoid cedar, it breaks down too slowly, and stay away from black walnut, which can actually poison your vegetables. Step 2. The filter. Pack the gaps. Use smaller sticks, twigs, and last year's leaves. You can even use shredded cardboard or straw. You're creating a dense, carbon-rich mat that holds moisture like a sponge. Step 3. The nitrogen buffer. This is non-negotiable. Spread 2 to 4 inches of fresh grass clippings or aged manure directly over your filter layer. This feeds the microbes that break down the wood. If you skip this, those microbes will steal nitrogen from your plants and you'll be left with yellow leaves and stunted growth in year 1. Step 4. The finish. Now, and only now, do you add your high-quality compost or topsoil. You only need about 8 to 10 inches. By the time your plant roots reach the bottom, those logs will have transformed into a nutrient-dense reservoir. Stop burying your budget in plastic bags. Build a system that feeds itself, because the best soil isn't bought, it's built. You're standing in the garden center staring at a wall of plastic bags. The math is simple, but the pain is real. To fill a single 4x8 raised bed with premium potting mix, you're looking at nearly $200. $200 just to bury dead dust. It's the great raised bed scam. We've been told that to grow a tomato we need 2 feet of expensive sterile material. But look at the root data. University extension charts show the truth. The bulk of the action. The feeding, the breathing, the biology happens right at the surface. The top 6 to 10 inches. Everything below that is just an anchor. So why are we paying a premium to fill the bottom of a box? Compare 2 beds. One is built the industry way, filled top to bottom with bagged mix. Cost, just under $200. The other, it's built on what most people call waste. It cost $45 mostly for a little compost to finish the top. 1 season later, the difference isn't just in the wallet, it's in the soil. When the standard bed is parched after a week of sun, the layered bed stays damp. The logs and leaves at the bottom act as a biological sponge. It's a 50% cut in your water bill hidden beneath the surface. Here is the protocol for building an infinite engine of living soil. First, the foundation. Fill the bottom 60% of your bed with carbon. Fallen branches, old logs, or even untreated scrap wood. This is your long-term battery. Next, the nitrogen layer. Toss in your grass clippings, fallen leaves, or kitchen scraps. This fuels the decomposition process. Finally, the cap. Add 6 to 10 inches of high-quality compost or garden soil. This is the only part your plants actually need to start. 2 years in, you'll dig down and find the wood has turned soft. The soil is black and crumbling. It's full of earthworms and a dense network of roots. While the neighbor is hauling more heavy bags and spending hundreds every spring, your bed is getting better for free. Every fallen branch is potential. Every leaf is a resource. Stop burying your budget in plastic bags. Build soil that lives. What's the weirdest thing you've ever buried in your garden to save money? Let me know in the comments.